Hello and welcome to a little spin-off series we've got going on here. It's England and can they win the World Cup in 2026? Now, if you've been watching my Lincoln Loco, you'll know that I'm the England manager, and now the World Cup's here, we're going to try and play the World Cup and win the World Cup for England. Whatever happens, we're going to be resigning at the end of the World Cup because it's actually quite annoying international management. We only took the job because we thought it would be a good way to scout English players, because we can get full reports on lots of English players, but it turns out there's not actually that many good English players anyway, and my scouts are now actually better than England scouts. So it doesn't matter too much, and we can just resign as England manager now and get back to normal. So we're going to do the World Cup, see how it goes, and fingers crossed, win it for England. Now in this first episode, we're just going to meet the team, and we're going to play the first group game against South Korea. Meet the team for your sake, and probably my sake as well, to be fair, because a lot of the World Cup qualifying stuff, I've just given my assistant manager. He's done it all for me. I've barely touched the England team, really, since I joined it. So basically I'm going to meet the team as well in a way because I've not really familiarised myself with it at all. So I guess then we'll go straight away and have a look at the tactics and the team and the lineup for this game against South Korea today. So we'll start off in goal. Jordan Pickford, you should know about him. He's a real player, plays for Everton in real life. In this I think he's at Arsenal, I believe. No, Everton still at Everton. 3-star current ability and things like that. You know, he's getting on a bit, is old Jordan Pickford now. He's going to be the last World Cup. But he's still England's number one in this version of the world for now, so he's there. We've got David Green at left back. Of course, he is a left back that we used to have at Lincoln for a while on loan, but is currently a player at Liverpool. Plays a little bit at Liverpool, but not too much, which is a bit of a worry considering that the only good left back we've got in England is a sort of a rotation player for Liverpool. But he is the strongest left back in the England setup, so he's there. Two more players that you'll be familiar with, Joe Gomez and John Stones, real life players playing at centre back. Obviously Joe Gomez still at Liverpool, doing pretty well for himself, valued at £40 million, very, very good player. And then John Stones also there, still playing at Man City, but again, an old player getting on a little bit. We need some young players to come through, but there's no one really good coming through. Trent Alexander-Arnold starts on the right-hand side. I think we had him on loan at Lincoln for a little while as well, if I'm being honest. No, he didn't. So I don't know who I'm thinking of there, but he's played at Liverpool his whole career there, still going strong at right-back. Will Hughes and Eric Dyer start in the midfield there. We're playing the same formation as the Lincoln formations, actually, I should say, as well. So we're playing that central midfield role. Will Hughes, who's of Hull in real life, maybe at the moment. I can't quite remember. Watford, of course, went to Watford, didn't he? From Derby to Watford, and now plays for Chelsea. And he's a decent player. He's come on very, very well. He's one of the best central midfielders in England at the moment. He's a very decent player. And then Eric Dyer is alongside him as well. A good player, plays anywhere along that centre back, of course. Still contracted to Tottenham. Has been there for an awful long time after moving from Sporting. Long time ago now. As you can see from his average rating, he's one of the best players in the Premier League at the moment, so I'm very glad to have him in the England setup right now. He's a good player, of course, and hopefully he'll be scoring lots of goals for us from this sort of Carrillo position. Dele Alli starts in that central attacking midfield role. Of course, you know all about him. Still at Tottenham, still doing very, very well for himself. And also still at Tottenham is Harry Kane. He's still the best striker in England. And as you can see, a majority of the side are still current England players. A good 8 years, 9 years in the future from where we are in real life at the moment. So it's kind of worrying that the England setup have not developed players well enough to become better than the ones that are already there. So the only new players we've got are David Green. Angel Gomez, of course, plays on the left-hand side. We know all about him. Obviously, he's a real-life player as well, plays for Manchester United in real life, but currently is with Lincoln, so that's very nice to see. He's made himself into the England setup, which is nice. And then Sam Taylor on this right-hand side plays for Arsenal. He's probably one of the best players in the world at the moment as a regen. Valued at 77 million. He's an incredible player. As you can see here from the amount of assists and goals he gets every single season for Arsenal. So he's a fantastic player, and I'm glad to have him in the England setup. There's a few more players on the bench that you'll recognise. Jack Butland's there. Matt O'Reilly is there. He's sort of made his way up a little bit. He's 25 years old now, but currently in real life plays for Fulham. Give us a brief history of Matt O'Reilly.
Got 3 goals in 2019 and is 26 million.
Yeah, moved for 26 million to Crystal Palace.
From Fulham. So he's gone Fulham, Luton, Fulham, Crystal Palace. I think he's Irish or heritage.
Why do you think he's Irish
O'Reilly.
when he's playing in the England team?
O'Reilly, his name.
To be fair, we can have a look at his information. Other nationalities, Danish or Norwegian?
Irish. That's a little error from Football Manager, but we won't touch on that. Not a very good game anyway.
Do you consent for that in the video? Yeah, alright. Marcus Rashford is still around, he's kicking around still. Axel Tuanzebe is still kicking around as well. He's a young player at Man United as well, but he's come through pretty well for himself. Phil Foden is also there, the Man City youngster as well, but I think he's the only real life player left now in this setup. I think Craig Long is a regen, of course. Yeah, he's a little regen left back. Actually looks pretty decent, to be fair. I might try and sign for Lincoln at some point. Who else is down there? Jack Ward is a central midfielder. He's a pretty decent one for Middlesbrough, got a bit of potential, and 22 years old, should be the future of this England midfield. I think we'll probably try and start him a little bit later on in the World Cup. Chris Round, striker for Arsenal, very, very good player. He played for Leicester, we tried to sign him, but Arsenal came in and just outbid us basically, so we couldn't sign him. Arsenal got him instead. Dave Macey, a right back, not the best in the world, but he's one of the only English right backs who's capable enough to play in the England setup at the moment, so he may come into the side a little bit later on, but don't expect it too much. Ed Malon, also another regen, a striker, decent one to be fair, with a lot of potential, only 20 years old, making his World Cup debut, not made an England cap yet. So I'm not quite sure why my assistant picked him for the team, because I didn't pick the team, obviously. My assistant did, but a potential player with loads and loads of potential, so hopefully he'll come on in the next few years and become England's number one. Kwame Hartley, backup goalkeeper again, a decent player with a lot of potential as well. Currently plays for Sheffield United. I have tried to sign him for Lincoln several times, but they keep saying no to me. And then the final player in this setup is Steve Thompson, a player again that I've tried to sign multiple times for Lincoln, but West Brom just will not have any of it. He's only had 13 appearances for England, 2 goals as a striker. You'd argue he probably should have a bit better record, but he's a decent player for West Brom. He's scored bags of goals for them, so I would love to sign him for Lincoln, but at the moment it's just not happening. Right then, that is the whole team for this World Cup thing. You've met them now. I've sort of met them now. I've got a better idea of who's in the squad, because really, I didn't actually know that much. So now we're playing South Korea in our first game. Canada beat Sweden in that first game as well. In fact, I think that was the opening game of the World Cup, because it's been held in Canada this year for the World Cup, which is pretty cool to be fair. So they've qualified on the grounds that they're rubbish, but they host the World Cup, so that's why they're in it. And now we've got a real good chance, I think, of qualifying. I think us and Sweden should go through, but they did just lose to Canada. So I think we should top this group. You know, we are the best team in the group. We should be doing it. Right, first game of the World Cup, passionately. We should win this one fairly comfortably. Only Angel Gomez is happy with that. So we'll kick off the game either way. You know, we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to this. This should be a little decent game we've got going on. You'll also notice that behind me, it's all different behind me. That's because the English FA have said, no, you're not allowed to do this in your bedroom. You know, now that you're the England manager during the World Cup, you can't do this in the bedroom. We're going to ship you off to Canada, and you can record these videos in a kitchen in Canada. So that's where I am, a kitchen in Canada. And we're recording the World Cup. As we come forward now, Angel Gomez, 42 seconds into the game, could have put us 1-0 up, but unfortunately hit the post. Or did it go wide? One of the two, I don't know. Right, highlight for us now in the early exchanges of this first half now. We're trying to build a little bit of play now. We've not been very strong actually in these opening few moments. No highlights at all, and really nothing to talk about as Angel Gomez comes forward. Really should have put it across to Harry Kane, but he's a bit selfish as Angel Gomez, and he had the shot instead. Hit the crossbar, to be fair. I mean, he's getting it almost on target. If you get it on target, I'm not too fussed, but I think he would have done better passing it to Harry Kane. Well, apparently Dele Alli's picked up an injury, stub toe. So, I mean, if he's really injured enough to come off with a stub toe, then I think there's something wrong with him. We may take him off in a few moments, though, if he doesn't really play very well. So, there's players waiting in the wings to come on for him, as Harry Kane has been put forward now on the edge of the area, puts it into the injured Dele Alli, who doesn't quite get it on the end of it, but Eric Dyer now with a chance, out to David Green through to Angel Gomez into the middle, cleared away there, but only goes back to him, puts it onto the back post of Dele Alli, and the first goal of the World Cup for England has been scored as we go 1-0 up against South Korea with Dele Alli giving us the lead. Now, I think the best that England have done in recent years in the World Cup is quarterfinals. I think Danny Cowley was the manager of England for a long time, and I believe the furthest he ever got with them is quarterfinals of any competition. So a standard England job really. If we can beat quarterfinals, then I've done better than every England manager for the past, in this century, basically. In the 2000s, I've done better than any England manager. So that is the goal, to try and beat the quarterfinals, but you can guarantee now that we'll get knocked out in like the first qualifying round, or the first knockout round, or whatever it's called now. Second round, I can't remember what it's called. I think the way we're going to structure this little spin-off series is, though, that obviously today we're going to have the one game against South Korea. Next episode we'll do Sweden and Canada. Providing we beat them and get through into the next stages, we'll probably do 2 games an episode. So it'll be like the second round, I think it's called, then the quarterfinals in another episode, and then semi-final and final in another one if we get there. So there could be as few as 2 episodes of this, but there could be as many as 4. But I now want to say, like, is there an extra round in there somewhere? So there could be 5, I don't know. As Harry Kane's been put forward, puts it wide though. I mean, I'm not going to lie here, we're playing South Korea. I'm not quite sure where they are in the world, but I think they're within the top 50, but not by much. Conveniently pointed out there by my girlfriend, they're under North Korea, if you're looking at a map, of course, but we're not looking at the map, we're looking at the football rankings instead, and we should be beating South Korea very, very comfortably. However, it's only 1-0 as we approach half-time. It could be 2-0 now, but they have just tackled us, and now it's probably going to be 1-1. I mean, 1-0 at half-time isn't what I was expecting. I was expecting us to be 2 or 3 goals up by half-time, and it's not really happened, which is starting to worry me a little bit. If we want to be serious candidates for winning the World Cup, we have to be putting in better displays than this. And as you can see by the average ratings of our players here, Dele Alli's played well because he scored a goal. Eric Dyer just put it over the bar for a free kick. I think he's playing... Well, that free kick took him from a 7.0 down to a 6.8. So clearly he's not playing very well. Defenders are playing all right. So I guess South Korea, when they come forward, we're doing bits trying to defend. But Harry Kane is playing woefully. So I think we're going to take him off now, very early on in this game. Now, we're going to bring Chris Round on, I believe. He's a striker that I can remember. I know that he's a decent one. So he's going to come on as a poacher on attack. Dele Alli is tied, so we're going to bring on Phil Foden, I believe, because he's the only player that I can remember as attacking midfielder. Other than that, we'll leave it like that for now. We may make some changes a little bit later on. Angel Gomez playing the best at the moment on the 7.8, so that's good to see from the Lincoln player, of course. First highlight of this second half then looks like it's going towards us now as we come forward looking for our 18th shot of the game. We've not made good chances, or good use of our chances, I should say, as Chris Round has 2 shots saved in a row there by the keeper. Fantastic goalkeeping there from the South Korean man. He's keeping his team in the game today, and we're just not being very good in front of goal. We're being wasteful, if anything, really. So the man I've said is the best player in the world, or one of the best players in the world, has just picked up an injury and has been forced off the pitch. Now this could really, really affect our World Cup. Can Rashford play on that right-hand side? Ooh, kind of. Can someone play there? I'm sure someone can play there. It might tell us on here where they play. Doesn't it tell us where they play on here either? This is the issue of not knowing who plays where, basically. We're going to bring Rashford on anyway, I think. We'll bring him on as an inside forward. I guess that's what you can do a little bit. Inside forward. We'll bring him on like that on that right-hand side. Hopefully he can carry on the game there and maybe get a goal or something like that. We need the goal, really. Obviously, as things stand, we're still behind Canada, so that's not good. I mean, obviously, I know it's only 1 game played, and they're only above us on alphabetical order right now, but I would expect us to beat South Korea by more than this, and it does make me think, you know, if we come up against Sweden the best side in the group, if we play like we had today against South Korea, as Rashford finally gets a second goal for us to take us top of the group on goal difference. If we play as poorly as we have against South Korea today, in my opinion, in terms of being wasteful in front of goal, I reckon Sweden could possibly beat us. Chris Round coming forward with the ball now. Gomez puts it back across to Rashford. He does win it in the end, puts it across to Phil Foden, and the substitutes combining again make it 3-0. We've finally decided to turn things on in these final 20 minutes of the game. We were real poor, to be fair, and it's only 2-0. So apparently the Rashford goal was disallowed. Did you see that get disallowed? Because I didn't see it get disallowed. I genuinely did not see that get disallowed, but apparently it was. So fair play. Thank you, Football Manager, for telling me about that when it actually happened. I would tell you what was wrong with Sam Taylor as well, but when I hover over it, it won't tell me what's happened to him. So we'll find out in a minute as the game comes to a close. Alexander-Arnold puts the ball in the area from the throw-in, but it doesn't matter too much because we've won the game 2-0. A comfortable win there, stat-wise, dominated. Scoreline, not so much domination. I'm a bit worried about that scoreline going into the later games, but at least we're creative with chances. We just need to finish them. Well, fantastic stuff here. Sam Taylor is going to miss the rest of the World Cup as he's out for 6 weeks. And Dele Alli out for 6 days. He's going to miss perhaps the next 2 games maybe. He'll definitely miss a Sweden game. Potentially could miss the next game as well. So that is a big blow. Right then, well that is it for this episode of the England Can They Win the World Cup? I'm not really decided what to call it yet, so just the England World Cup we'll call it for now. That's the end of this episode. Next time we'll do Sweden and Canada in the final 2 games of the group stages, and hopefully we'll qualify for the later stages of the World Cup. So thank you very much for watching this. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time for some more England action.